Sunset Riders hit US arcades in 1991. The game was developed and published by Konami. The arcade was a run-and-gun shooter, but it also featured some basic platform jumping and terrain navigating. The game challenged you to shoot and destroy enemies, while not only avoiding hostile projectiles, but also AoE explosions like dynamite and frontier wildlife. You could play as 4 different Western heroes: Steve, Bob, Carmano, and Billy. You could fire in 8 different directions, jump, and grapple on to ledges and ropes in certain segments. And while each hero moved, jumped, and fired the same, there were 2 distinctive weapon loadouts. Bob and Carmano used shotguns that fired straight, but they had more of a spread arc, the farther the shot traveled. While Steve and Billy had pistols that fired straight, and if upgraded, had another shot that fired at an acute angle. The goal of the game was to fight your way through a gauntlet of thugs and Western ruffians that eventually led to a boss fight.
It's time to pay.
Sunset Riders had 8 core stages, each with its own unique boss encounter, like Simon Greenwell, Hawkeye Hatfield, Dark Horse, the Smith Brothers, and finally, Sir Richard Rose and his posse. The boss fights were fun and challenging and had a decent amount of variety. While progressing through each stage, you basically shot and killed off different Western-themed gang members. Some had different weapons or threw explosives. One even had a knife, bringing a knife to a gunfight. Not very effective.
You call that a knife? This is a knife.
That's not a knife, that's a spoon.
All right, you win. I see you've played knifey spoony before.
The stages themselves had a good amount of diversity though, from old Western towns to canyons, rivers, high-speed train chases, and even old Western forts. There were also bonus stages that had sort of a first-person view. These stages required you to shoot enemies that popped up. However, it wasn't freehand. You just had to move the arcade stick in one of 8 directions to shoot the enemies on the screen. Sunset Riders did feature some heavily modulated voice work, and it was most frequently used for boss battles.
Draw, Pilgrim. You in heap big trouble. Marry me with my money.
The game did feature 2 power-ups you could obtain. The first was a silver sheriff's badge. It upgraded your weapon to dual wield. The second was a gold sheriff badge that allowed for rapid fire. However, both power-ups were lost if you died. Your score in the game, or points, came in the form of cash, and you would get cash by killing enemies and picking up bonus items, which was fitting for the Western theme. It'd be criminal not to mention the game's amazing soundtrack. Sunset Riders' score is very memorable, and it's worth mentioning that the composer also did the score for the 1987 MSX2 version of Metal Gear, Castlevania 64, and even some of the themes from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. The game was ported to the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, however lots of minor changes were made, most noticeably on the Super Nintendo version. They removed some of the more risque outfits of the bar patrons. The female bandit seen in the arcade version was switched out to male, and the Native American enemies on stage 6 were removed and replaced with normal bandits. This arcade game is a classic run-and-gun shooter that was quite popular when it was released, as well as fairly common to see, and it still holds up today. Have a request for an arcade corner? Tweet me and include #ArcadeCorner. For more videos like this and everything else gaming related, you're already in the right place. You're on Shacknews.com. Next time on Shaq's Arcade Corner. You know, I paid for like the non-reflective lenses, but it doesn't look like it's doing that. Hey guys, Greg here. Hope you enjoyed the video. I wanted to talk to you for a minute about our new subscription service, Mercury, on Shacknews. If you like our videos, if you like to watch them on YouTube, if you go to the site for news, if you use our guides, or if you read our very unique long reads that we do every once in a while, this is a great way to help our site directly. We don't deal in any of that Patreon crap. All the funds go 100% to fund Shacknews, to pay people like me, to pay for our videos that you guys see, the guides that you use, the news that you read. For more information, you can click on the link in the description below, and for more videos like this and everything else gaming related, you're already in the right place. You're on Shacknews.com.